Hi folks, it's me again, Jar Blisney. I'm here to talk to you about the Star Wars Day Twitter misunderstanding and what we plan to do to remedy this little situation. From now on, when using May the 4th or any other Star Wars hashtag, use the hashtag I give my consent to Jarrett Blisney to use my information and likeness in all business matters that include or but not limited to the construction of a real Death Star. I mean, what are you gonna do anyway? Go to another studio? Like DreamWorks? We own your childhood and we have a monopoly on feelings. What are you doing? What is this? I don't know what this means. Well, who are you? I don't care. I'm Jarrett Blisney. I can do what I want. Well, screw your face. Get me a scotch and a Danish. Wait, is that legal? No! Legal! Shut up! Legal! No! After a nice little talk with my legal team, turns out I can't say or do any of that. So keep on keeping on there, fanbase. And May the 4th be with you.
Hi there, and welcome to the Area Nerdy One Talk Show. Today, in light of all of us being stuck indoors for ever,
I didn't notice.
until the chosen one arises and we can go outside again, we're going to be talking about board games and our favorite games and things that we've been doing to distract ourselves from our current situation.
Board games for you, bored at home.
Hold on.
Exactly.
Hold on. Before we get into board game stuff, I just thought of something. Like, it's really,
Okay.
really off topic. But,
Okay.
So, you know how, like, the WWE slogan is, like, do not try this at home? Well,
I'm aware of it.
we're all, supposed to be emphasizing the fact that we're supposed to be home. So, should we be trying it at home?
Yeah.
Only if you should definitely be trying this at home
All right.
as unsafe as possible.
So-
I'm going to go
like-
try a DDT out there with my wife for a second.
Yeah. So they say don't try it at home, but at this point we don't have an option to try it anywhere else. So
To be fair, we're not professionals at anything, so
Yeah.
Um,
we
Call
should
of
be
Duty.
trying it in general.
All right. Yeah. Luckily, you play a board. Well, if you play a board game, there shouldn't be any physical harm that'll come to you, unless you count like the table flipping at the end.
I got to be honest with you, a lot of physical violence in board games. But we are going to be talking about board games, tabletop games, and even single-player video games that you can play at home or with other people. But really, to get into the games today, what I want to talk about first is what kind of games did we play as kids? What kind of board games, and what kind of games did you play,
Ooh.
Matthew?
Oh, geez. All right.
Yeah.
Well, as far as board games go, the first thing I think I ever played that I remember was Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, like chess set. That was like a collector's item. I played that first, actually, at our friend's birthday party when Jimmy had that appendix
Oh
operation.
yeah. I was like 11 years old. Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that.
He was hunched over, and I was over there playing. I was playing chess.
Yeah.
James is dead on the couch, and Matt's just like, these are so realistic to what they look like.
I was like 2 days out of the hospital after like almost dying, and I was like, it'll be fun going to a friend's house where we're gonna like
Stay up all
eat junk
night.
food and stay up till 4 a.m. and like roughhouse.
And you're not gonna drink fluids.
And I'm not gonna drink any. Yeah, I didn't drink anything.
But on top of that, here I am. I'm playing. Oh, look I got checkmate. I'm looking back at Jimmy. It's like he's just crouched over, like. But anyway, sorry to go off topic. But yeah, I played.
That's on topic.
I played Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers chess collection. I also played a little bit of Monopoly. I didn't really get much of it. Like I played like the junior set, I guess, the one that was kind of like the basic. I think it was the dinosaur version actually.
Oh god, yeah.
But what other games did you used to play, Matt, besides chess?
Well, I was introduced to Risk a little bit, but I didn't quite get it because I'm kind of slow when it comes to fallen strategy games. But that was one of the first like ever intense board games I think I played that lasted over 2 hours. But other than that, as far as board games go, that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
How about you, Jimmy? What kind of games or board games did you used to play?
Well, you were there the whole time.
I was gonna say you should know this,
Yeah.
Jared.
Well, so like you remember, like the main thing we went through like a rash of where we would play Risk like every day, or every weekend or something in our house, and like we have an older sister, and about 5 minutes in, she'd be like, "Just kill me and let me leave."
Yeah.
And it'd end up between either myself or Jarrett and our dad. Yeah, and it was usually me, because Jarrett, as a kid, was like, "I'm just gonna bet everything right now," and then he'd get like a 1.
Yeah. I suck at dice. Every single time it's just ones all the time.
Yeah. So there was
Snake
like
eyes.
Risk, and then like, because
Mhm.
I was pretty cool there in middle school, so I went to the chess club. It's like whatever.
We're
But
at a chess club. Hold on, man.
yeah,
Hold on. Stop.
you probably didn't know it because you had a life, but
Yeah.
I didn't.
That is
so
not true.
I decided to go check.
That's not true. If I would have known this, I would have been a part of that. Damn.
It was pretty cool. They had like 3 different Star Wars versions of chess. So
Yeah.
we'd always like at the beginning we'd always end up fighting over who gets the coolest version. But
Oh,
so yeah,
my
there's chess,
gosh.
Monopoly, like the thing, like basic family board games that would take like 6 hours to actually complete.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm right there with, as James says, I don't know if you guys know, we're brothers.
Oh, yeah, we may have mentioned it once or twice.
Yeah. But we always played Risk, but I was always super competitive and I always hated losing, so I never stopped playing chess.
Oh god, we had, like so many flip boards, like just
Yeah.
game pieces splattered
I
everywhere.
didn't do it. Yeah, I didn't do too well.
So you guys are gonna move like
but
a
when
piece
I-
of furniture, and it's like you're gonna pull out like an old card that was probably thrown under there from some sort of anger issue.
No, we have all of our cards, all the pieces still, except for one of the tops.
Wow, I give
one of
you
those things.
props.
Yeah.
I always lose like the dice or
Yeah.
some sort of character or something.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there was Yu-Gi-Oh, but we would never like actually play Yu-Gi-Oh because we never
Yeah.
figured out the rules.
Dude, that
But I
wasn't
never
that
stopped
bad.
really playing Risk. Like when I went to Boy Scouts, when we finally got time to do board games, right to the Risk board. We'd always be playing Risk. And then obviously Monopoly is the other big basic one. And then in college, I just started getting into Yu-Gi-Oh because my friend really was into it, and so like he got me into it because he like started buying like a ton of cards, so he had thousands of cards. So I just started making decks out of that and just started playing, and that's a lot of fun. So that's kind of what I grew up playing.
Wow.
We also like tried to play Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon, the card game, but we never played it correctly.
God,
Pokemon-
yeah,
yeah,
I don't think
Pokemon you
Pokemon
could-
ever even had like a rule book or anything.
Yeah.
They could figure.
Well,
There's a whole competitive scene.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's the thing, because like when we were all younger, back in let's say 1998 when we were like 5 or 6, sorry, Jarrett, but we didn't really play the battle game of it at all. We just traded the
Yeah.
cards and collected just to have everything, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, I remember when I was at college, where I worked in I worked in the game room, believe it or not. And there was this one kid that always was playing the Pokemon actually trading card game as like a battle scene.
Yeah.
And it was actually quite interesting because I was like, I
Yeah.
never knew how it really worked, but I watched him do it. I never really asked him, but I watched him do it, and it was like, huh. So that's what it means by like flip a coin. If not, you don't. It misses. If it hits heads, you hit. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting how it actually works. It's actually a lot more complex than Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Well-
So like when we sorry.
No, it's all right. Well, it's interesting. You should say it's not as complex as Yu-Gi-Oh because I went to play in a tournament with Jarrett one time a few months back, and like I like had not played since I was probably like 8.
Oh shit.
Which and like so when I left off, like it's like, okay, you play a card, all right, draw a card, or like you play a card, you summon this monster. It was
like the super slow basic
super
stuff.
slow basic stuff. And I started playing against this kid, that I just met there, and then like he plays a card, and then like 5 minutes later he's still like shuffling his deck and like drawing cards from the effects. I'm like, just go already.
Yeah, like the time it took for like when we were kids, that's when like Yu-Gi-Oh like and Pokemon actually like started coming out, and like the basic Kaiba and Yu-Gi-Oh decks were, that's what they were. They were basic. The rules were really simple and straightforward, and now we have like Link monsters, Synchro monsters, and it's really is very complicated. You like the professional decks will like go through like 10-minute turns, just like doing stuff at effects and triggering off of each other, just like circling through. So like it's
advanced
really
so
like
much.
when I started building decks, like especially for Jimmy because he's like not used to it as I am, and I'm still trying to get used to it as well. You know, building a deck is a lot more complicated now because there's a lot of effects you have to go and thinking of, especially now with the new ban list that came out this year. A lot of things just kind of got nerfed.
Do you ever use the cards I brought back from Japan?
No, because I can't read.
That's true. They are in Japanese.
Yeah, they are in Japanese, and you see, even when we're like playing at home, like with the decks, I actually know we're still sitting there like reading it just to make sure. And like I'm kind of dyslexic, so I like the third time I'm playing it, I'm like seeing something different, and James has to be like, "No, you gotta let me read that."
Yeah, well, it's gotten to the point where like he'll play a card, he'll be like, "Haha, I get to destroy your monster," and I'll be like, "No, let me read it," and I'll read it. I'm like, "Okay, that's only if you draw it from your deck," or like, he doesn't read the fine print, so I gotta call him on it every single time.
Yeah.
I can see Jarrett in Japan playing in a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. He has all Japanese cards, and all of a sudden he's like looking at them, panicking, thinking, "Oh my god, I don't know what they say." So he goes to put one down, and everybody around is like, "Ooh!" And he's just like, "What did I
Breaks
play?"
a rule, and then he get my like little finger cut off, and then I get the shit kicked out of me.
Dude, I told you guys about that arcade I went to, and those guys were playing like combination, like it's an arcade game, but then you also like bring like these electronic like cards that you put on the thing and it interacts with it.
Yeah.
And like they were into it. Like I was worried like if you like jostled them away from it, they might like die of
Freak
shock.
out,
Yeah.
Well, like another thing that Bet kind of brought up, like when I was a kid, like no one played Pokemon at all. We just collected the cards, and
it was an illegal activity in our
yeah,
schools.
it was a legal activity. There's like underground Pokemon rings.
We were like a thriving Pokemon resistance.
Yeah, you couldn't even have him on the bus. I remember
Yeah.
I was sitting next to a guy, or I want to say guy. It was a kid, obviously.
Yeah.
When we were in kindergarten, I swear I was in the inside seat on the window, and the kid next to me, he was going like he had like a binder. And he was just kind of showing me, and all of a sudden the bus driver parks off the side of like the main road of where we live. You know what I'm talking about?
Cut out a little bit.
And all of a sudden the bus driver starts coming to the back, climbing over the the seats, and all of a sudden grabs the binder and brings it up with her to the front. And I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh. And mine was sitting right in my backpack. So I was about to pull mine out.
Yeah.
And don't
You almost
take that
got
out of context.
busted.
But there were back in our day, there were a lot of like Wolf on Wall Street trades going on in the back of school buses.
Dude,
you know,
we fought and died for like those freaking Blue Eyes White Dragons and Exodia pieces.
yeah, it's like Blue Eyes and like Flygon cards that was top stock back in our day. Now you got like Garchomp and you got the actual Exodia stuff that those.
If some guy walked in and he had like the full Exodia set, like he was a god, like just send us to the Shadow Realm right now, bro.
But the thing is too, remember we used to have like the original Pokemon backs, like the cards that had the really crappy Pokeball opening up.
Yeah,
I think I remember that. Yeah,
those are worth money now, and we got rid of those because we didn't like how they looked.
Yeah.
And look
well,
what
if you
we
guys
did.
recall, a few Christmases ago, I got you the those golden cards from Burger King.
Yeah.
Back when they released the first movie.
I have the Poliwhirl one.